In this video I will explain section 9.4 about solving inequalities. Now, an inequality is a little bit different from an equation. An inequality looks like this. In exercise 26 we have to solve this inequality, and as you can see, instead of an equal sign between the left hand side and the right hand side, we get a greater than symbol. This could also have been a smaller than symbol. Now, what we're trying to solve here, what we're trying to find out is for which values of x the result of this calculation will be a number greater than 4. Please note that I said for which values of x. We are looking for not just one solution for x, but a whole bunch of them. Now let's look at a graph to make this a little bit more clear. In this graph we see a red line that corresponds to the left hand side of the equation. Y equals minus 2x plus 8. That's this one. And the blue line corresponds to the right hand side because it's a horizontal line at a height of 4. Now what I want to know is where the red line is higher than 4, than the blue line. It's easy to see, we can just point it out here, and of course even further to the left, the red line will be higher than the blue line. The point where they're at the same height is right here. For x is 2, they are at the same height. If I go anywhere to the left of that point, the red line will be higher than the blue line. That means that all the numbers for x smaller than 2 will mean that this calculation results in a number higher than 4. That means that all numbers smaller than 2 are the solution to this inequality. How do you write that down? All numbers smaller than 2? Well, just short and concise like this. X smaller than 2. Any number for x smaller than 2 will give this part of the calculation a higher result than 4. Now, unfortunately in this section we don't get graphs to look at all the time. To solve inequalities we have to do it without it. And in the method here next to the example they explain exactly how to do it. Let's go over that for a second. In this example we have to solve this inequality. 2x minus 8 is greater than 4x plus 2. So we want to know for which values of x this calculation gives a higher result than that calculation. Now the first thing that I want to know is where are they at the same height, these two lines? Where do they intersect each other? And you can do that by solving an equation. So step 1 is make an equation that corresponds to the inequality. That sounds like it's difficult, but actually it's really not. All you have to do is change the symbol in the middle, the greater than symbol, back into the equal sign that we are used to. So you get 2x minus 8 is 4x plus 2. Step 2 is to solve this equation, and we learned how to do that with the balance method this chapter. So here you see how they solve the equation with the balance method, and the result is x equals minus 5. So that means if I fill in for x minus 5 here, I get the same result as if I fill in x is minus 5 there. What I want to know is where are my solutions? Will numbers smaller than minus 5 give the calculation on the left a higher result than on the right? Or will I have to go with numbers larger than minus 5? To find out where the solutions are, you can make a number line. So just make a horizontal line and put the solution of minus 5 in the middle, indicated by an equal sign above it. Then write down any two numbers that are smaller than minus 5 to the left of minus 5, and any two numbers that are larger than minus 5 to the right on the number line. Then just go over your numbers one by one. Let's start with this one. If I take minus 6 for x and I fill it in, will I then get a result larger on the left than on the right? Let's check. It goes quickest with the calculator, so here it is. I fill in for x minus 6, so I get 2 times minus 6 minus 8, so minus 20 on the left hand side. On the right hand side I would get 4 times minus 6 plus 2, minus 22. Minus 20 is a greater number than minus 22, So it looks like I get a correct number over here. If I take a number smaller than -5, like -6, then the result on the left will be a greater number than the one on the right. Let's go to the other side. Pick one of the numbers here and see what happens then. If I fill in -4 for x, then I get 2 times -4 minus 8 on the left-hand side, -16. And on the right-hand side, 4 times -4 plus 2, -14 on the right-hand side. Here we get -16 greater than -14. That's not true. -16 isn't greater than -14. So that's why they wrote an n above this solution. It's not correct. The n is for not correct. The c over here is for correct. Now you can try it with the -7 and -3, and you will see that again, if you fill in -7, you get a result here that's greater on the left than on the right. And if you fill in -3, you won't get a solution on the left that's greater than on the right. So because of the correct solutions are to the left of -5, that means that the solution to the inequality is x equals -5. Now let's try this ourselves. In exercise 30a, we have to solve this inequality. Let's follow the steps. Step 1, make an equation that corresponds to the inequality. Now, that's easy. All I have to do, 2x plus 3 equals 11, is remove the symbol, the greater than symbol in this case, and replace it by the equal symbol. Now, step 2, solve the equation. We know how to do that. We want x's on the left and regular numbers on the right. That means I want to remove my regular number -3 from the left-hand side by doing -3 on both sides to keep the scale in balance. So I get 2x equals 8. And then in the last step, you divide by whatever we have in front of x. In this case, we divide by 2. So x is 4. So the solution to this equation is x equals 4. If I fill in 4 for x, then I get the same solution here as there, so I would get 11. In this case, it's probably clear to see that you need to choose different larger numbers for x to get a result that's higher than 11. But later on, for instance, here you won't see it as clearly. So let's just follow with the steps. And in step 3, we fill in the numbers on the number line. So here's a number line with the solution below, equal sign. Think of two numbers, or one is enough as well, both to the left and to the right of 4. So let's just use consecutive whole numbers and go with 2 and 3 on the left and 5 and 6 on the right. If I start with 3 and fill it in to my original inequality, I would get 2 times 3 plus 3. Now 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 9, is that greater than 11? No. So I write an n over here. I would get the same with x is 2, because 2 times 2 plus 3 is 7. And is 7 greater than 11? No. Let's look at the numbers on the right-hand side. If I take 5 for x, then I get the calculation. 2 times 5 plus 3 is 13. Is 13 greater than 11? Yes, it is. So I write a C over there for correct. And here for 6, 2 times 6 plus 3 is 15. So is 15 greater than 11? Yes, it is. So my C's are over here. That means that I have to go to the right of my solution. And the final answer to solving this inequality is x is greater than 4. In exercise 31F, that's the last one of this section, we have to solve this inequality with brackets. It's a little bit more difficult, but the steps are the same. Let's just go over them. The first step is to change this inequality back into an equation. So, oh, that's not correct. All I do is copy the thing, but put an equal sign in the middle instead of the smaller than symbol. Now, step 2, solve this equation. All right, let's do that. Let's start with removing the brackets. So these two multiplications and these two multiplications, let's do them. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12. And on the right hand side, minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times 8 is minus 16. Right, x is to the left, regular numbers to the right. Let's start with removing the x's from the right hand side. I can do that by adding 2x to both sides. So then I would get 8x minus 12 equals minus 16. Now we remove the regular numbers from the left hand side. I can remove minus 12 by doing plus 12. So I get 8x equals minus 4. Right? Yeah, minus 4. In the last step, we divide by whatever we have in front of x. So in this case, we divide by 8. So we get x is the result of minus 4 divided by 8, which is minus 0.5. So the solution to the equation is minus 0.5. That means if I fill in minus 0.5 for x here and there, I would get the same number on the left-hand side as I would on the right-hand side. But I want to know if I should take numbers smaller or larger than minus 0.5 to get a number here that's smaller than the number there. So I make a number line and I put my solution, minus 0.5, in the middle. I have to choose two consecutive whole numbers, or not consecutive, but two whole numbers to the left and to the right on this number line. So I think I would just go with minus 1 and minus 2 on the left. Just choose whole numbers to make it easy for yourself. And on the right hand side, I'm going to go with 1 and 2, but any other numbers larger than minus 0.5 are fine. Let's start on the right hand side here. Fill in 1 for x. Then on the left hand side, I get the calculation, 3 bracket 2 times 1, you can do this without a calculator if you like, minus 4. So on the left I get minus 6, and on the right minus 2 bracket 1 plus 8, that's of course 9, minus 18. So minus 6 on the left, minus 18 on the right. Is minus 6 smaller than minus 18? No. So we don't have the correct solution when we fill in 1. Let's try it again with 2. On the left hand side, I start with 3 times 2 times 2 minus 4. I get 0 as a solution. And on the right hand side, minus 2 multiplied by 2 plus 8 gives minus 20. So the question is 0 smaller than minus 20? No, again not. So my solutions will probably lie to the left of minus 0.5. Let's check it just to be sure. If I fill in minus 1, I get 3 bracket 2 times minus 1, 2 times minus 1, minus 4. So that's minus 18. And on the right I get minus 2 bracket minus 1 plus 8, minus 14. Is minus 18 smaller than minus 14? Yes, it is. So here we have a correct solution. Now, if you fill in minus 2, you will get something similar. So we know now that the solutions lie here to the left of minus 0.5. So the final answer to this inequality is x is smaller than minus 0.5.